Greetings, quantum observers. I'm back. It's been a few weeks, had a lot of stuff going on. We're going to pick up right where we left off. Currently, we have this LCD update going on. There's some problems with our code that I didn't fix at the end of it. Now, I'm recording all of this live just to show you how everything works. So there's gonna, like I said, there's gonna be problems as we go along. So the first thing I want to fix or take notice to is that this has setup here. Here, I'm gonna fix this too. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit for you guys. This is the current code that we have. I'll scroll down just a little bit just so you can catch up if you haven't. Alright, right here at this has setup, we never actually turn that has setup to being true, so it's in our update. We're just continuously running the start. So we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna show you in this episode how to do animations with the LCD screens, get some pictures into your worlds, some textures onto the LCD screens, and how to animate them. And then after that, I think we're going to have a good amount of this wrapper started, and we'll go ahead and start messing around with the autopilot. So first thing we want to do is we want to have another setup that isn't that's a part of the wrapper. So I want to create a function down here for setup, and this is for our actual wrapper, and then we'll run the setup because we want to keep this stuff up here. We want to keep this start and update for our if you haven't understood already, this wrapper is so that we can copy and paste this into any code that we're going to use for any future codings or programs that you want to run inside of Space Engineers. So this should all be separate from all of this. So we're going to run this setup, and we're going to make has setup equal to true. Whoops, I don't know what that was. And in the setup, that's where we'll run start. So now that that's finished, we will put our update frequency, because that's part of our wrapper. We'll set that in here, and what else do we want to do? Okay, because this is all having to do with the stuff that we are it doesn't have to do with the wrapper, so we'll leave that in the start. This display timer and all that stuff, that's not our hard code, so that's just stuff that we're messing around with right now. We're going to get rid of a lot of this stuff later on. So this is the stuff that we want to be able to copy and paste into a new code, and that's fine. So all this right here, that is going to be gotten rid of. This is going to be gotten rid of, and we can get rid of that display timer. So now we're just back to our soft-coded start and update methods. The program that we're going to use is called what is it? Space Engineers SEImageToLcd. It's pretty neat. Little deal somebody put together. I'll put a link in the description to the Steam community version of this. I think there's other links to it, but I don't trust any of those. And what this does is it basically takes any image and converts it into a text. Here, I'll show you in here, a text format that Space Engineers understands. Now, this looks pretty crazy, but that's what it's going to look like in Space Engineers. It's all these unknown symbols. So you can take an image and you can, just have your image on one LCD, or you can split it into many, and then you can grab the code for each, or the text for each individual portion of the texture itself, and make something like this. Here, let me shut this down. So let's do that real quick. I'll show you what that looks like. This is the LCD we're going to use. So I'm going to go in here and we'll get this set up first. Now for this, we're going to have to change the font to monospace. And this is going to convert this weird text into the actual image that we're going to need. And I'll show you how to get the actual text. So we go back here to our Space Engineers SEImageToLcd, and I created a couple images here that are in different positions. This is going to be an apple that goes around in a circle, or spins rather, and you can get any animation files or sprites or anything like that and cut them up and use them in here. I'm going to use, like I said, this little apple, and here's all the settings that you have to make for this. Now you can have all of these different sizes. I purposely resized all of my apples to be 32 by 32 to make it small as possible. Of course, you can take any image and it'll resize it down to whatever you need. But I purposely went for 32 by 32 image because it runs a little bit better with with an animation. The next thing we have to do is we have to turn off this RLE encoding. So now that we have our picture, our texture loaded up in here, just click convert, and that might take a few seconds to convert it over, especially because I'm running it pretty low speed. And press Control A to copy all that. You see what the image looks like. We'll go back over here into Space Engineers and give her a try. We'll paste this into the text. Control A, Control V. Oh, look at that. We have to resize that. Let's Control click 0.5. And that looks nice. Alright, so that's how you get an image into there. And like I was saying, you can split them. So you can click this split, and you can split it 2 by 2. This is a pretty small, pretty small picture, so or texture. And what you can do from here is you can copy each one of these, and each one of these will be a different LCD. Again, I don't need to do all that, so. Oh man, I didn't want to close that. So we got our first image here. Now how are we going to switch between images? Well, that's what we're going to use the coding for. And I am going to copy that, and then I'm going to set it in the custom data, Control V. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab, I'm going to paste all of these different images into the LSCD custom data, and then we'll grab all of those, I guess it's going to be a string. We'll grab all of these strings and then we'll just iterate between them. I am going to do this. I'm going to put a little semicolon or at the end of each image to kind of so we can split, so we can tell the difference between each one. And so I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. Alright, we are back, and you see that I have something really funky here going on. I'll show you exactly what this is. What I've done is I've gone through and converted each one of the apple pictures into its mono space texture or text, and then I just copied this little setup that I had in my in a different text file, just so I could save all the pictures or images, and then I pasted that into the edit text, just so you can see how this works. So it actually types in all of the Apple 1 and Apple 2 data, and then does the and then shows the image afterwards. So that can be something that you can implement later on. So if you wanted to put an image and some text afterwards, that is absolutely possible. We're not going to do that, but I did want to show you that. So we want to get rid of all of this text. Control A, get rid of it. So now it should be empty, and we're going to be messing around in the custom data section. That way we can put all of these in here and then access them from our code. We could no, it's possible. I haven't tried it to put all of these inside of our program itself. I don't want to try that or do that because it would take up a lot of space in here, and trust me that our programs could get cluttered enough that we don't really need all these extra things happening. So I like to put these in the custom data. So I'm going to copy my Apple 1 and put it in here. And like I was saying before, we want to split it. So we're going to make this one big long string, but we're going to have to figure out a way to separate each one. So I'm just going to put a semicolon in there, and then we'll separate it through that semicolon. So we'll grab the Apple 2, and we'll attach that right on. Oops, yeah, right on the end there. And you do want to do it just like this. You want to put it right afterwards. And the reason that is because when we do our animations, if you don't put if you don't butt them up right against the semicolons, excuse me, it will leave a gap, and your animations will look funky. So yeah, you can try it if you would like to prove it to yourself, but that's just the way it's going to go. So I'm just skipping past all that, and I'm just going to put them all in here. So this is up to 3, and now I will copy number 4, copy, and put a semicolon, and paste it in there. So now we have all of our images in the custom data. Okay, so that being done, let's go over here to our LCD panel, and we're going to have to get that custom data, and then we're going to split it. So we're going to create an array of strings, and we'll call it frames. And in our start method, we'll say frames equals LCD dot custom data. Don't recall if I need that. Nah, pretty sure I don't. Dot split, and we're going to split it by character, and that you have to use not double quotes but single quote, and put that in there. And let's just check to make sure I don't have any errors. Something tells me that custom data was gotten wrong. Recompile. Oh, yeah, I never I never changed it. Edit. Okay, so let's copy our code here. Control C, copy. Control A, paste. Check it. See if we have any errors. Okay. Oh yeah, never assigned the LCD. LCD equals, what was our code? Get block. Get block. LCD panel. Control A, copy, and then we'll go back over here. Check our code. Okay, can I explicitly convert type on my terminal block to, yeah. We never added a way to change that in here. Maybe we can do that. Let's try this. We're going to return a generic type, and then we're going to put in a generic type. And how will we do that? Let's try casting. Will that work? And we'll throw in my text panel. See if it's that simple. Whoops. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, that should work. Okay. Sorry. I'm still early in the morning for me. I'm not usually up this early. Got the coffee going. Okay, so early this morning on Saturday, we got our frames, and now we will start editing our update function. LCD. Notice that. Sorry, I'm doing all of this. There is no prep work before I do these videos. Again, this is all for fun, and I'm trying to do this as I go along, so that you guys, well, you guys can also learn from my mistakes and how I'm doing stuff, so that you understand why. There's been many tutorials that I watched online, um, where uh, people will come back to their next tutorial in the series and have like lines and lines of code that they did off camera, and I'm trying to run everything as I go. So I apologize for any mistakes and things like that, uh, because I am doing it in a different fashion than most people. So we have all the frames being separated here, and let's just see what that first frame looks like. LCD.write text frames. Let's get the first one. Let's just make sure that this is working. And we don't really need that in the update. Control A, Control C. And we will go over here and throw that in. Check it. It's good. Recompile and run. Alright, cool. So now we just have to, whoops, need to set our size to 0.5. 0.5. That should be good. Fantastic. So let's go outside of here and let's start iterating through these. So let's make an int variable for our current frame. Current frame equals 0, and let's just say current frame plus plus. If our current frame is greater than frames.length minus 1, current frame equals 0. And then we will just cut that out. Oh, no. My X button got stuck. Current frame. Let's see if that works. And it's probably going to be really, really fast. Control A, copy, and Control A, paste. Oh. Well, there might have been an issue with my my pictures. But you see that the animation is working. Yeah, I must have copied one over that was the same as another. Like, I don't know, maybe Apple 3 and Apple 4 were the same ones. So there you go. That is the simple LCD animation tutorial. And of course, I'm sure that you guys can figure something else, or figure out an actual usage for that. But I don't really have any practical uses for it as of yet. I am working on speaking of animations, I am working on an animator for mech parts. If you're interested. interested in checking that out, that'll be something I will show you guys later. I'm putting together like a whole Steam getup. It's going to be like a big old station that you can attach any vehicle or any creation of yours, and as long as it has rotors and pistons on it, you'll be able to control them. So then you'll be able to set each animation, and I'm sure that that'll be there's practical uses for that as well. But I'm not going to bore you with that kind of crap right now. I'll just show it to you later. Since we've done the LCDs and we kind of understand how to get access to certain things within each one, the next tutorial I'm going to start messing with the auto miner and how to fix, or not auto miner, autopilot, and how to fix it, and then we'll start working on getting an auto miner so that you can understand how it all works, and like I said, you can customize things to exactly what you want. And that's why we're doing this wrapper, by the way. Of course, it's to show you how things work in Space Engineers, but it's also because we want this, because this code here is going to be very important later on once we get into more detailed things. It seems kind of ridiculous to have all of these extra setup and update functions and all that stuff right now, but I assure you that later on, once we get into more detailed things, you'll see why I've set this up. So I'm just know that I can see this, see where this is going to be helpful for you guys. I hope you're enjoying this so far. Again, I apologize for the way that I'm doing this and all the mistakes that are happening. But again, this is all live. I'm not pre-writing this stuff. I want to do this right on video for you guys so that you understand and you also see my mistakes and how things get written. All right, I will catch you on the next video. See ya.